What do you think learning is? How does learning happen?
If you think learning is all about willpower, work harder, memorize more. But the result? I can't remember! You're not stupid. You're not lazy. Your brain's just overloaded. Today I'd like to introduce you to a new learning theory, and once you get this, you will start learning faster. Hola, soy Green. In our first learning method video, we talked about active recall. Today we're diving into something just as powerful: schemas and cognitive load theory.
These already sound very complicated. Schema, cognitive load.
Alright, before we dive into any serious theory, let's play a game.
Remember this in 3 seconds. Is it easy for you or hard? If you find it easy, you'll probably find a pattern. Cats like fish, dogs like bones, mice like cheese.
Wow!
Now try this set. Much harder, right? Because your brain couldn't find any meaningful connection between these random items. Your working memory is overloaded.
Working memory.
Yes, which means your brain just isn't enough.
True.
So here's how your brain works. Your brain has two types of memory: working memory and long-term memory. Working memory is like your computer's RAM. It's fast, but tiny.
Maybe only 4 gigabytes here.
Long-term memory is like your hard drive, and it stores everything you need for later. However, new information always goes into your working memory first, but it's limited. Here's the changing point. If the information in your working memory gets processed properly, it can move into long-term memory.
Interesting. What kind of information goes into long-term memory?
Schemas.
In human words?
Okay, your long-term memory only likes to store things that make sense together. For example, a meaningful pattern, a category, a connected group, or chunks. That's what a schema is. If new information can link up with what you already know, or if it's organized into a simple pattern, your brain will say, "Hey, I recognize that group. Let's save it together." Otherwise, it will get dumped. So this is the expert's brain. This is the rookie's brain. Scattered information, organized chunks.
A good video helps you build these schemas by grouping information, linking it to what you already know. Watch how different presentation styles dramatically affects your memory. Basic version, just a plain list, and then with pictures, much better, right? Now your visual memory joins in. The best version, if they could help you to build schema. For example, oveja sounds like obey, haha. Sheep are obedient animals, and maybe add a little sentence: La oveja es obediente. That's a little story that locks in. Do the same with vaca. Vaca looks a little bit like vacation. Then you think a story like, hey, what do cows do all day? They eat and chill like they're always on vacation.
I don't think oveja is obediente. I was once bit by a oveja.
Great thinking. If the connection doesn't make sense to you, your brain won't form that schema. This is exactly why educational psychologist David has famously said, if he had to choose only one principle, it would be this. So the most important factor influencing learning is what the learner already knows. That's what we call prior knowledge in educational terms.
I think I know now. No, maybe you don't, unless you answer this question right.
Imagine there's a chess master and a total chess beginner. They both look at a chessboard with pieces randomly placed. Who can remember more position?
The master!
Nope. Both of them only remember around 3 pieces.
But you just said...
Because the pieces are randomly placed. In other words, both the masters and the beginners cannot recognize any pattern. So both of them are using their limited working memory. But if you show them a real, meaningful chess game position, the chess master can recall about 2/3 of the board.
Therefore, this is the purpose of this video. To remind you that all those learning experts you admire, their real superpower is building these meaningful connections.
They don't remember each piece individually. They recognize the whole pattern. And that's exactly what schema learning is. What should I do to use this schema learning?
So next time when you learn from videos or books, try ask yourself,
Does this relate to anything I already know? You look for categories, for patterns. If the video doesn't offer any schema, do it yourself. You force yourself to identify just one useful insight before scrolling the next. You don't need a super brain to excel. You need to train your mind to see patterns, link ideas, and grow your mental frameworks. Every time you learn something new, and ask yourself, how does this connect to something that I already know? The more you weave knowledge together, the smarter your learning becomes. Mis amigos, go out there and start connecting the dots.
Today's content draws on 2 studies by Glaser and Sweller. Also, some of the PPT slide is made by Dr. Christina Ratnam, one of my professors at Nanyang Technological University, where I did my master's in curriculum design and teaching theories.